It's been about 3 solid days, if not 4 solid days of torrential downpour rain in an area that traditionally doesn't get all that much rain. Oh, but I went for a walk today with our good friend Bodhi, and it was so incredible. I saw blooms and blossoms that I haven't seen here before, because I think when I moved here, it was a drought. So pretty incredible. Things are blossoming and blooming for us. Things and blooming, things is blooming. Things are blossoming and blooming for you. 111. Um, there's a show called The Rehearsal. It's on, oh, I think it want to say HBO. And in this first season, it's ridiculous. In the first season, though, there is a character, and he is all about the signs of the numbers. And ever since I've seen that episode, I can't unsee myself acknowledging the angel numbers coming through. So now I'm a little hyper aware of it, but I will drop that. So maybe there's an aspect in your life that you're feeling somewhat hyper aware. I did pull the Four of Cups here. And the Four of Cups, this particular deck is really, really cool because it's showing kind of where I am right now. Like, if you can see where I am, it's very lush, very green. I've had some interesting interactions with Mother Nature and her beautiful trees. Here we have, you know what? I don't like this reading. I don't know. I feel eyes are on me. So I'm not sure about that. Okay, that's important. Okay. I was going to talk about what it might feel like to be psychically attacked. And I don't like using that term so much. First of all, attack seems like a little, you know, dramatic. But um the fact that I'm feeling slightly paranoid, there's a car like right beside me, and there's two girls in there, and I finished up my walk and I saw that the windshield was all fogged up. So they've been sitting there for a while having a good old chin wag, and I don't know, I thought there was a breakup going on, but maybe someone just had a breakup. I'm not 100% sure. Does this pertain to you? Let's find out. But as I'm sitting here, consciously aware that they are over there, I started feeling like they are watching me and that eyes are on me. I just peeked over. They're not watching me. So there's a little bit of paranoia at play. Um, to be psychically attacked or to feel something like that is to feel this energy sort of come on or come in out of nowhere. And I think a lot of the times what that is also like a moment when you kind of dip and all of a sudden you're like back to like your old tricks again. You know what I mean? Our old programming that likes to kick in, and create excuses for yourself, or, attack yourself basically is what it is. And it's like the call is coming from inside the house. And I've mentioned that before. The call is coming from inside the house. Anyways, so this is going to be feeling a little bit all over the place. I get the feeling. However, I know that my emotions and my sort of like vibe has been all over the place. Like this weekend, I've already done 2 like hands-on crafts, and I don't ever sit down and do crafts like at all. So I've been feeling this energy of needing to like disconnect a little from the electronics and sort of, the communication, the messaging, and just kind of be practical and hands-on and still, even to the point where like my home was very quiet. I can work in silence. I'm comfortable in silence. Usually though, when I have other people at home, it's not silent and quiet. The radio's going, or Google or whatever, another device is on playing a game. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many other noises. And the last 2 days have been quiet, very out of character for having a shared household. So that's been really great for me. And I think I really needed it. But I felt like I was cloaked a little bit. I felt like I was hiding. So interesting though, because as I look at this card even further, you can see that red that's on her, right or left side. And it's on our left side. I'm all inverted here, but it looks like there's a cloak. It looks like there's something sort of alongside keeping her shielded. And if you'll notice how the cups on this side of the card here are empty, and she's sort of like forlorn and focused, I think, a little bit too much on that. But then on this side, as she's sitting there, kind of cloaked and protected, see this little hand? I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to move my little pinky. I guess I could use my other hand. Oh my gosh, there's part of the message. I guess I could use my other hand. So it's like I have my right hand man, or yeah, like God is going to give you a hand. This is really speaking to like little surprises coming out of nowhere that just appear, and they are miraculous in nature. And it's going to be in her hand, as you can see. Like if you look at how that bowl is moving, it's actually going to be in her hand. She will literally be holding on to it. And all of a sudden she'll just look down and be like, oh, it's been here the whole time. Huh. Not necessarily the case. We could talk about quantum leaping and time jumping, timeline jumping and all that sort of thing. But the feeling I sort of get is like the idea might have finally occurred, or the energy and the frequency have matched something, such as a wonderful happenstance or miracle or a phone call or something, an idea that could be coming in. And even though this is the cups and that's an emotional, somewhat introverted sign or symbol or element, I should say. So I have to itch my nose. We had a lot of pollen flying around here. Even though the cups here are quite introverted in nature, emotional in nature, a lot of information or ideas could be coming through as a result of this. So I feel like I really want to pull another card here. I have no idea what this reading is going to be. I knew I wanted to do one today. I was talking to some trees, so you might see that on one of the socials. I haven't decided. Haven't quite figured that part out yet either. I just want you to know that whenever I'm doing a reading, usually things that are coming through as I relate to my own experience, it is often connecting with someone else here in the collective as well. Okay, so I just had 3 come out, so more than you asked for. There's ding, ding, ding. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Okay, wow. So we got the 7 of Wands coming out. Notice that she looks like she's in a crystal ball, so that's kind of interesting. There's some interesting divination there. I'm also getting the Hierophant vibes from that one, which is pretty good. Then the 3 of Pentacles, which I'm hearing teamwork makes the dream work. Pentacles always good. And then the 8 of Wands. And we're at 8 in the timer here. 8 of Wands. Bum, bum, bum. And this is almost like the team is coming together. So let's take a little looky here. On top of this card, so this 4 of Cups card, it's like she's been shielded. She's been cloaked for a while. She's sort of laying low. It's almost like in witness protection. That's the vibe. She's in witness protection. And if some of you are in witness protection, God bless you. But anyways, I'm not sticking around with that energy for long. Okay. So we have, Wands, Pentacles, and Wands. So Wands, Pentacles, Wands, and Pentacles, and Wands. It was funny because this particular deck has the pentacles being crocheted or macrame, I guess, into this sort of craft. And it's funny because this guy at the top there is holding on to basically a branch or a stick that and he's on a wooden structure, so that could be interpreted a little bit like a wand energy as well. So it's taking some creative aspects, and it's just there's so much coming in right now. Okay, so first I heard because we have these wands, it's like knitting, using the wands, the creative tool, to create something with a group. And I heard turning water into wine. So it's like using something that you have right in front of you. Okay, that would make sense with this card then. Taking something that you have right in front of you and utilizing it to create something else, something unexpected from that thing. And I also heard Avengers Assemble, which is like a really cheesy way to get like little kids to kind of like line up in a line and be quiet. So I heard that. And there was another one, almost like, oh, the 3 Musketeers, like all for one and one for all. And the 3 Musketeers is interesting too, because that's the 3 of Pentacles. So teamwork makes the dream work, turning water into wine, Avengers Assemble. Teamwork makes the dream work. I said that already. Yeah, there's a lot of aspects, but I'm being really drawn into this one here. And I think it's because it's asking you to tune back into your source energy. See all of this. So many ideas and opportunities are coming in. And you can see the wisps around here. And there's a couple of ways I can interpret that. Part of it is that psychic attack idea that I was hearing from earlier. And also, it is part of your divine team also trying to get through to you. So, ding, ding. So, basically, you're being asked to like do a little check in, do a little meditation, and sort of see what's up. Because as these opportunities or even creative ideas begin to roll in, that is a example of abundance, is having more than enough ideas to be able to kind of like put things all together, right? However, your guides want you to check in because you don't know which avenue to take that would be the most aligned for you without their sort of input. I mean, you could try, but it's being called that it's a little bit easier, and it's because there's teamwork and assemblage and other individuals perhaps involved in this as well. And I also get this to mean like to also trust your intuition and to trust your instincts. So, oh, there's a lot there to unpack. Partners is coming up. Okay, partners in opportunity. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just saw it in the timer. Okay, partners in opportunity, or partners and opportunity. Partners and opportunity is being confirmed for me. Okay, partners and opportunities. So, team effort happening here. So checking in with the guides and finding out which way to go. Okay, this is long. Definitely some editing will have to happen, but I just wanted to hop on. The light was good. I had the cards. So quiet here today. The car smells nice. You know, like there's things. That was another thing I wanted to throw down actually. And, you know, I do have friends that watch this channel, but I also kind of low-key know that they don't watch on the regular because I get the analytics. So I see their place of origin, and I see when their place of origin is not present. And so I'm not going to worry who sees this. Anyways, I have a friend who had a little bit of input that she offered for the channel and how I was doing the channel. And she was like, yeah, you know, I think it's great. Just like a little bit less of maybe like the car stuff. And there's a few things around this. Number one, about a year or 2 years ago, I had sort of made a bit of a prediction, kind of like out loud to my family, that was, um, you know, people are going to be almost like seeking the messy and less professional, less glossy as time goes on with the onslaught of like AI and things like that. And sometimes when things are too glossy, too professional, too well done, they can come across as disingenuous. And sure enough, there became this huge trend of like people being in their cars. Now, the funny part around all of this, it's not like, you know, they invented it or I invented it. You know, it's been around. People have been going to their vehicles to sit and have a quiet moment for as long as vehicles have been around, especially as soon as locks came on the doors to get away from the kids for a little bit. Sort of the equivalent of screaming into your pillow, you know. As a voiceover artist, which I've done some in the past, you know, you can record in a car and it's really quite, you know, acoustically tight as you know, as it is. Anyways, I digress. The point is, my darling friend who, you know, wanted to give me some feedback was like, yeah, that's great, but maybe a little bit less car stuff and whatever. Now, I appreciated that she was giving me that feedback. But funny enough, more of the videos that I have been doing in the car are actually the ones being viewed more than the ones of me sitting at the desk at home in my office and, you know, doing something like that. But what brought this whole, you know, thing about was when I was hitting a bit of frustration earlier on in the late winter, where I didn't really feel I had the time to like sit down, do the setup, turn the lights on, do a makeup thing, whatever. Do you know what I mean? And that is when I did my first, I thought, we're doing it regardless. I'm going to do it in a different venue. I'm doing it outside, and I decided to do it at the dog park. And that was my very first, like, kind of walk and talk tarot, which is really not something most of us are accustomed to, right? It is different. But it's not different in that there's a lot of people now on YouTube that are in cars and talking about stuff, and it's like car confessionals and like whatever. I don't think I'm being revolutionary in this, but what I am being is I'm giving myself an opportunity to maintain and sustain something that fits into my schedule. And as a creative person, sustainability is the most important over anything else, because if you have to be constantly like in your studio or at your desk, or you know what I'm saying, like with all the X, Y, and Z details constantly being done, you might not be able to sustain it in the long haul. So this would be equivalent to an artist who might not be in the studio with their paints and canvas, but can perhaps pull out the chalk pastels or the oil pastels and a sketchbook and go out and do some art in another location, right? So sustainable is better than perfect, whatever, splashy, and then not being able to do it at all. So anyways, that's a message for someone out there, because it's funny because there's a perfectionism in me that does really desire to do a good job, and by doing a good job, sometimes I think that has a certain look to it. Typically not this, right? Like, that's not what I'd be going for. But here we are, like, at least I'm getting a reading done. I've done more readings in the last however many months since I've started the channel than I could have ever anticipated. And that's because I decided to not let the space fool me, is what I'm hearing. Weird. Not let the space sort of dictate the content. Does that make sense? Wow, that was deep, I think. I'm pretty sure that's deep. Don't let the space dictate your content. Yeah. Don't let the space dictate your content. Okay, so that's a message coming through. Don't let the okay, yeah, I can't even say it. Don't let the circumstances around you, so that physical manifestation, the things that are currently happening right now, do not let that alter your content, meaning altering your vision or your dream of what it is that you're looking to manifest. That is a big, big, big message. That's why people talk about, act as if, play it through at the end, like that sort of thing, which can, sometimes wording can be really problematic, but don't let the space dictate your content. Okay. Dictate, meaning it's going to boss you around. So if you were to take everything that you see at face value and just accept it, that will not serve you moving forward. Yes, I could go on, but I hope that kind of resonates with you. I love you very much. We'll see how much of this. I'm at like 19 minutes right now. Did not intend that. I was like looking for a quick 2 minutes in and out, but here we are. Good old Bodhi and I forgot to pack water, so we're both thirsty. We're going to go hydrate, and you should go hydrate too. I love you so much. And hey, man, the rain stopped. The sun is out. The blooms are here. Hallelujah. I love you. Have yourselves a wonderful week.